10 o'clock kickoff, but good time.
What's up, you guys? Thank you.
I didn't get my alert yet.
Let's get started.
No, but we need to check it before. Don't.
It's a nice 4-shot. Benjamin in this shot gets a lot of love. I like it. You can see the Marine flag there. Thank you guys for joining us on such a big night in football. You got to hit renew on that.
There we go. Yeah.
All right, I'll get things started.
That was the first time I've actually done the chisel route. Usually I just go up to the top.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us on a Tuesday night in First Amendment Sports Basement Podcast Studios. I'm Ken Marangolo. He's Darren McClinton.
Hey, it's great to have you guys back. I haven't been in the basement for a few weeks now, man. Happy New Year. How about
It
that?
hasn't been in the basement without you. He's Kevin Ricka.
Good to be back.
I've been living down here for 3 weeks, and finally you came back. Now I'm allowed to go home. I appreciate your presence tonight. Thank you.
In addition to our good friends, Alan, $2 Robbie, and our good friend Rhett, made the trek all the way from across the street. We appreciate the basement crowd this evening.
Appreciate
National
the
Championship
sacrifice.
game. We thought football deserves some football talk, and we keep up the Tuesday night tradition on Thank God It's Tuesday. Please hit the old button, as Alan Vogt would say, smash that subscribe button. First Amendment Sports, it's a free subscription. You'll get a update and alert whenever we go live, whenever Joe Burrow goes deep, and Clem said, come on, you can't do that. We are watching the game as well, as we know you guys are, and we're not going to make any bones about it. If you already know what's going to happen, if you watch this show tomorrow night and you already know who wins this game, do not tell us.
Your boy Trevor Lawrence just double-fingered, double-picked his nose for about 13 seconds.
You saw that?
I did.
Yeah, he did.
That's a gross.
He didn't know
that's
they
a-
were zooming in on
That
him
is
at
a
the time.
that's a gross nose-picking technique. Well, there isn't a non-gross one, but I've never seen that. I haven't seen that.
It was a deep cut. AGH, James Rainey, good to have you guys.
What's up, boys?
We'll get things started with some Redskins talk. We don't need to stay on the six-pack too long tonight, other than to say this one thing that I've been thinking about, which is why I felt compelled for it to be the main theme, is that as a Redskins super fan, like a wannabe, because we all at one point in time, and just like a love of the Washington Redskins. So how many years now has it been when I go to holiday parties and to gatherings and people from all over the place and they want to ask Redskins questions, and it's been the worst experience ever. Because I could say anything that comes to my mind and none of it's true for the last 20 years. That's 2 donkates, Kevin Ricka. And now I get asked questions about Ron Rivera. I get asked questions about Dwayne Haskins and the possibility and potential. And now it feels like what I'm selling actually is worth a couple, shillings.
There's breath of fresh air in town nowadays. How do you feel about the moves being made?
Well, so building on what we've been talking about, Ron Rivera, the biggest thing is the NFC East is under construction. The Giants hired a new guy. Good for them. Good for Joe Judge. Awesome, buddy. You made it. You're a head coach in the National Football League. It seems like a made-up name, first of all. And
Did you see that coming?
No one saw that coming.
Exactly.
The New England Patriots haven't even put a wide receiver core on the field that's worth Tom Brady's jock, and their coach gets a head coaching job in the league. That's hilarious. And that's the New York Giants in a nutshell, who've been one of the worst teams in the NFL for quite some time.
Listen, donkates, nutshells, quarterbacks, receivers. All right, Edelman was okay, but no one saw Joe Judge coming, man.
No.
That's just, I don't know. Listen, if it works out later, fine, but right now, you got to be pissed. You got to be pissed if you're a Giants fan.
I love Giants fans so much more today because I love that they're having to go through this.
I'm thinking Eric Bieniemy's on everybody's short list.
He
but
was
I
on
guess he's
our
not.
short list
Yeah.
of 2 people we wanted hired here, not knowing about Rivera at the time.
I would trade 3 Joe Judges for 1 Eric Bieniemy
Oh, my God. Give me
if I have the
Bieniemy.
chance.
Listen, if Bieniemy's in town, we're down 24-0. We're about to win 51-something. Because that dude was calling plays
Absolutely.
the entire second and third quarter. Andy Reid was just sitting there chilling, and Andy Reid's got to be the most pissed. But you know what? Also, to be fair, some of these guys that extend their season, they get screwed. The rules are a little bit different. They can't be, it's weird when you don't, the guy that's in charge of the offense, and he's game planning for the biggest game of his life.
Yep.
Also, trying to figure out what the biggest next job of his life when he leaves is.
Right.
And that stinks. They got to figure that out because, come on, man. Eric Bieniemy, Joe Judge.
I don't believe
Eric Bieniemy.
I don't believe Eric Bieniemy was
Joe
getting
Judge.
hired by the New York Giants.
Huh?
I don't think Eric Bieniemy was going.
Maybe not.
Was going to a
Maybe
New York
not.
type guy.
Well, with Saquon Barkley, you don't need Eric Bieniemy. Fair enough. I'm just talking about the general. Look, Saquon's going to get his touches over and over and over again. Bieniemy's an Andy Reid guy. West Coast. Yeah. Look at the weapons they got, but he's on a different level. So maybe it's not a perfect fit. So I'm not just yelling at the Giants. I'm just saying, in the grand scheme of things, Eric Bieniemy and Joe Judge.
Correct.
Right.
Come on,
100%
man.
agree.
Right.
And then in Dallas, I still don't think. I think that Mike McCarthy is a great coach. I would love to have Mike McCarthy. Anyone should be so lucky to have Mike McCarthy as their head coach. He's just fine. But there's no way. So the real problem in Dallas has yet to come to roost. And for Redskins fans, we have to sit patiently and wait for it. But it will happen. Jerry Jones is too hands-on. And it's going to take a long time for it to. And he knows just enough about football to have avoided the terribleness associated with being too hands-on of an owner. But the Mike McCarthy situation is Mike McCarthy's too good of a coach to let a billionaire tell him who to play and when to play him, I think.
But what about the sleepover?
So the sleepover.
You don't think these things get hashed out at a slumber party? I mean, come on. Dwayne Simpkins stole your video game. Like, crazy stuff happens at these things. You're out of your right mind. You're trying to be polite. You're at someone's house. Next thing you know, you're just.
Well, if you do good by Jerry Jones, you're employed in the NFL for a long time. I think that's also something for Mike McCarthy. I think Mike McCarthy is going to be a coach in the league forever as a result of this. Good for him.
Until he's not.
Well, but he did the whole Big Pink,
but when
strip mall
those
thing.
size 48 khakis hit the ground on that luxurious
48?
pillowcase, I'm hoping and guessing. I don't know.
I was going to say like a 45 and a half.
I feel like he's like a 48-36 type guy.
But he doesn't necessarily need the full length. He just needs the way the 48s feel.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why I know all this. Just trust me on this one.
So the Washington Redskins had one problem above all others, and that was culture. We've been saying it for years. Monday through Saturday ruins Sunday. That's what's happened in Dan Snyder's organization for a long time. Everything they do during the week shows up on Sundays. The dysfunction, chaos, moronic idiocy, petty bullshit that
Douchebaggery.
Douchebaggery,
I
shenaniganery.
just wanted to jump in.
The Joe Burrows running, apparently, all of a sudden now he's a runner. All that stuff, as soon as the kickoff happened on Sunday, all of it happened the way exactly you would expect to a team that can't get its shit together. So, to me, announcing that you're going coach-centric and then announcing that you're making that coach Ron Rivera, there's no better answer to a question asked in the NFC East than Ron Rivera. I mean, Ron Rivera solves the number one problem. I don't know what's going to happen on week one when he throws 22 guys at other teams' 22 guys. That still remains to be seen. Mike McCarthy has some pretty damn good players in Dallas, and Joe Judge has Saquon Barkley. But Ron Rivera is going to handle Monday through Saturday in a way that has not been handled in Washington under Dan Snyder's stewardship. And that's no knock on Joe Jackson. Joe Jackson did exactly what he could do when he was here, which is take a less than playoff caliber team to the playoffs 2 out of 3 years. That's what he did.
Like a boss, like Rivera's going to do, underneath a boss that has crippled us for years. I mean, are you good with Rivera? We haven't heard your input here. What's your take?
I'm fine. We needed a new sheriff in town, and
we needed a sheriff because the job description there was an ad in the old paper and no one had answered it. But yeah.
Wait, James Rainey's saying Chris Cooley's going to coach for us this year?
Quality control. That was released this afternoon on Twitter.
Okay. There you go, AGH.
AGH. It was on Twitter. We don't know. I do know who it was, but I can't pick his name out right now. But they're saying he's leaving the booth. which is going to demoralize the booth, by the way.
The average age of the booth just went up 75 years.
Listen, I love my man Doc. He doesn't get a lot of booth time, but that means more Larry Michaels. And I'm just saying. Ugh. But
Hey.
they're talking about Cooley trying to get in the mix.
What about getting this crew calling the radio for the Redskins? That'd be
We're
smart.
going to the booth. I like it.
Darren, let's make that happen. Come on.
Hey, did y'all hear about what ESPN is offering Tony Romo?
Yeah, man.
For Monday Night Football?
Yeah, 10 to 14.
10 to
He'll be the
14.
highest paid sportscaster in the history of all of that. But guess what? He's not going to our booth. He's not quality control on our neck of the woods. But you know
Sorry,
what?
Tony.
They love that Romo.
Yeah, they do.
I will take. I think it's pretty cool because, listen, we all know this. The best thing that Cooley does is when he gets down there and he starts talking shop.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's cool. And who knows what that means? Doesn't mean you're a great coach. It means he's got a high football IQ. And if he wants to take that and move forward with it for the good guys, that's fine by me. I don't mind that. I just hate what's going to happen to the booth.
So I like Chris. I've had an awesome opportunity when we started
He called him Chris.
Yeah.
Hogs Haven in 2000. When I came on in 2009, I had an awesome opportunity to get to know him. He was I believe fifth. Oh no, actually he was a third rounder, I believe, or we traded up. I can't remember anymore.
I think it was fifth.
I think it was fifth initially
Utah
as well.
State. Could have been third.
He was a fun guy to hang out with, and he became super famous. He wouldn't probably return my call, but him and his brother Tanner, good guys, and he's stayed. The one thing I'll say about Chris Cooley is he's an effing Redskin.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he's
That-
a lot of
I think
people.
that's
One
important.
of their favorite Redskins too.
Yep. Well, and I hang that on the wall not just because of Chris. I mean, I got that from Chris, but it's because it's 21, not because it's his. I mean,
Did he break up with you? Was there a
Sean? No, that's Sean. That's a Sean Taylor thing.
No, Chris.
No, he didn't break up with me.
Okay, fair enough.
We were never serious. It was just, we actually were we played in a Beirut tournament at a GW bar. It was like a Wednesday night. We had like a thing at the NFLPA. Kevin Ewald and I. We went down there. There was some program, and then Chris, Tanner, and a couple other guys. We got in a cab and we went to this McFadden's. Or I was like on 22nd, something like that. And GW was having a huge beer pong tournament. And at the last second, we got in. It was it was Chris and I, but Chris ended up like bowing out at the last second. He was like, I can't do this. There's all these college kids around, and so Kevin and I played. We got to the Sweet 16, but it was a super fun night.
You slid that in late.
It was a super fun
All
night.
right.
Super fun night. So
You
I
guys are good at beer pong.
stop. Are you good at 3-point shooting?
Absolutely.
There you go.
But I've never played beer pong before.
Well, you need to maybe think about it.
Yeah, but you have played
I've got
cornhole.
I've got a sweet touch.
We call
so-
it Beirut, by the way, where I come from,
You
but
have
it's
to
beer
work
pong
on
to a
that
lot of people.
cornhole. Though. Yeah.
What do you guys call
That's
it?
underhand though. Beirut is definitely more. Your,
Oh, I know
your
what Greg
style.
calls it.
Hey, if you want to recruit a ringer, I'm your guy.
Well, I want to see what you got, and we have multiple tables on the premises.
And if you got to drink the
all
guitar
times.
and play against them, I got Darren in there.
Absolutely.
We're gonna play guitar beer pong. That's a whole different ballgame.
So the first thought of the night is a little optimism in the air,
Yeah.
a little winning the off-season feeling again. I don't know what to call it. I know what people that are outside Washington talk about us. We haven't won an off-season in forever. I understand what people say when they accuse us of those things.
well, we think we have by not winning the way the nation thinks we have. That's all.
Yeah, and
We've had
this,
some good drafts and haven't overspent.
Yeah.
That's all we're saying.
this year,
But
This
Ken,
year feels different,
Doug
but in a
Williams
weird
got
way.
to stick. Doug Williams is sticking around.
he's part of the
different
Redskins
role,
team.
right? And,
Yeah.
He just got here, and I was hoping that he was going to stay, and
And that's great for the Redskins.
yeah, I
It
think so.
absolutely is.
And hopefully great for Doug. I mean, he's been around the league now. He's been around the league for 30 plus years. So he has a place, and I like the way they're deploying him. So without commenting on whether you think Doug Williams is a good or a bad personnel guy, don't even worry about that. The Washington Redskins decided as an organization to go toward a new direction, and they brought in new guys, and they're going to do it the new guy's way. So how do you use a guy like Doug Williams?
So, Kev, what is that going to do to his
Put him to
role?
players. He's a player guy now.
It's a totally different role, but I thought he was a good personnel guy. I think we've done great under his
Sure.
regime.
I'm
I said
just saying.
you said without commenting. I apologize. I love him so
Yeah,
much.
before
I'm
even
so happy
before that.
that he stayed because a man like Doug Williams, he can go do whatever the hell he wants to, anywhere he wants to, at any second he decides to. He chose to accept this role after speaking with Ron Rivera for an extended period of time. That's what makes me happy. A man like Doug Williams, he can go be the president of Grambling University. He can go coach anywhere if he wants.
He can
be
coach anywhere.
And instead, rookies and the abundance of under 25-year-old players that we have in this franchise right now get the benefit of him deciding to stay right here in the burgundy and gold. And I love that. That's what makes me happy.
Well, and the other thing is he could coach if he wanted to. And I think guys like him aren't done coaching. And so to me, this is a step towards coaching for Doug Williams. And I also think
Or he's going to be coaching a little bit in this role.
But
best part
being
of
back
coaching,
involved with players.
Right. That's the best part.
Just being involved with the players.
Yeah.
And you also, he could do that anywhere. If he left the Washington Redskins, he could be in a job working with players anywhere that football is played.
His cell phone would melt.
Yeah, so the fact that he's doing it for the Redskins and with Ron Rivera specifically, and I do think it's a Ron Rivera thing.
I agree. Specifically.
It makes Doug Williams' situation better, and it makes the Washington Redskins situation better, and it also it feeds directly into the narrative that things are happening differently at Redskins Park.
Yeah.
And before we close out from the idea that the six-pack and all the feel good kind of stuff, the other issue that is always in our face, that's always obvious, is the Dan Snyder issue, and that is he going to step out of the way for real? Is he going to be ultimately a hands-off guy, or is he just going to not be the reason why we make bad decisions or whatever? Is Dan Snyder going to stop being the problem? That question's been asked a lot of times, and it's been answered a couple of different ways, most notably when he moved from Serrato to Bruce Allen, most notably when he got rid of Marty Schottenheimer. This question has been answered before by him. How is it going to be answered now? And that's where the realist in the Washington Redskins fan base has been born. Every great fan base, I think, has huge blinders, and naturally so. Biased beyond belief, homeristic, optimistic. I think the impact for the Dan Snyder years.
All right.
Homeristic.
Yeah, and I think Dan Snyder has killed a little bit of that, and in that regard, he's his own worst enemy because I think we're all eyes wide open to what is possible with Dan Snyder as the owner.
I'm going to let you go first.
I want to address another
Hold on a second.
elephant
we
in
gotta,
the room.
we gotta
but
address this elephant
No,
first.
I know. There's another elephant that I want to address, but I'm gonna let you speak on this one, and I'll get to another hard
All
pressing
right,
topic.
so go ahead.
Well, apparently there's elephants lying around here, but I
Yes.
know there's not one on the top of
Kevin, are we
Sugarloaf
more
Mountain.
realists now than we used to be?
If there was a guru on top of Sugarloaf Mountain that we could go up to and get this answer, then we would take that hike, maybe. All right, fine. Fine, I'll take it. But I know that there's not, and it's going to be a terrible
Yep.
answer. You can't possibly predict the Daniel Snyder in anything. So we know that. It's inborn with us. We've dealt with this since what? 99?
Late 90s.
97? Whatever. We know this. So it would be ridiculous for us to say, but I do feel like
approximately 2 donkades.
I do feel like Ron Rivera would choke slam him before he would allow him to.
So
I think there's a part of that.
And so that's the Darren. That's kind of where we've gotten is that Dan Snyder has forced the average Redskins fan to question like a love investment. Like how much of yourself can you really give to this man?
Okay.
And so that's been happening now for a while. But Ron Rivera has the ability to flip that switch because as a result of Dan Snyder's terribleness, we've become long-viewed fans, and we've been looking long-view in the rearview mirror, and we see 20 years of Dan Snyder, and it's not been great. Ron Rivera has the opportunity to change the script for the next 10 to 15 years, maybe even the next 20 years. And if he has a great 5 or 6 year run, and he changes the culture, and he does hornswoggle Snyder, and he does gang tackle him and form tackle him before he can make terrible decisions, then the next guy has a chance to
Put him
come
in
in.
a small package. That's what I
Put
want.
him in a small package.
That'd be
You know,
great.
the next the next 10 years might not be a doncade. You know what I'm saying, Darren?
Yeah.
You know, there's a difference between a decade and a doncade.
A donkey. I heard you say that earlier.
Thank you. Appreciate that. But
I pay attention.
we could have a better situation in the near term, but what Ron Rivera, what we need him to do, this is why I think the Redskins fan base is different than a lot of sports fan bases, is because we are actually the fan base that's saying in the spring, not like, this could be our year. That we could go all the way. We could be a Super Bowl winner. We could go from worst to first. We could be the Super Bowl winner. We've been that Redskins fan base before. Instead, this time, I think we're the fan base that's saying, you know what? We might not be terrible for the next 10 years. We have a chance to be competitive at the end of this.
Legitimacy.
Yes.
Is what I believe he brings to this franchise.
Yeah.
Forget about what anyone thinks about us, because I don't care. But getting laughed at because we were laughing at ourselves, because we know as well, hurt for a long time. It was too late. When Bruce Allen got voted least trustworthy executive and all of whatever.
And then he went toe-to-toe with our best player?
And exactly, like, we're done with that. Ron Rivera is going to handle it like I saw today Jim Leland and Barry Bonds going at it in Pittsburgh. And I saw Jim Leland get in Barry Bonds' face and say, I am the effing manager of this team. And Bonds was going right back at him, and they had at it. And Jim Leland said, let's get it over with right now, right here, so it's over right now. Say what you got to say, blah, blah, blah. I feel like that's our Ron Rivera.
Yeah.
There's going to be no lingering. Everyone's going to know who the leader is. And if you have something to get off your chest, you got to get off your chest.
Yep.
But I watched Leland and Barry Bonds, arguably the greatest baseball player of all time. And this manager came back afterwards and said, well, listen, I know one thing. I'm the GD manager of this team.
Yeah.
And that was so old school, but it's what we need right now so badly. And I think Jim Leland and Ron Rivera have a similar approach, where afterwards there was hugging. There was going to be like
hugging, joyous,
you know,
jubilation.
But that's going to happen. This is football. This is sports. This is what happens. No one knows that more than Ron Rivera. We have a football man who understands people and culture more so than anyone that we have ever had, aside from Marty Schottenheimer, who only got 1 year. So there's the trepidation.
Yep, that's that exactly. And Redskins fans have been very good at getting to a point in every season where we take stock. What is good? What do we have here? What's good? What do we have that we can use going forward? And I think that mentality over the last 5 to 10 years for us, I think it gives us the ability to sit back and say, you know what? If Ron Rivera can come in and do what he does well, which is create an environment and atmosphere that's conducive to players giving their best, and
you don't have a chance without it.
If that happens, then we might be the team that's good enough to be a contender and go to the playoffs and not go all the way. You know, as this transition to talking about what's happening over the weekend, as I watch the NFL action, you know, you talk about a Baltimore fan base who had the best team in the league and they're out. You talk about the New England Patriots who had a down year, 12-4, and they're out. You talk about teams like Tennessee who came out of nowhere, they're still in. For the Washington Redskins to get back to a level to where they can get into the postseason and make some noise, I think Ron Rivera is capable of that. And you know, if the ball doesn't bounce our way when we're not shooting ourselves in the foot Monday through Saturday, that I will relish that. I will revel in that. I will AGH and James Rainey and Greg Martin and Eric Anderson and Robert Cohen, all these guys here tonight, and Rhett Donnelly. We will celebrate that, and we will, and you know what? And I will have fun, and it will be joyous, joy-filled.
Well, Ken, I have another question.
All right.
And you touched on it on your six-pack. What are we going to do with the left side of our offensive line?
What do you think?
What's going on with the big fella?
I think there's a path for him to come back.
That's the elephant on the field that I want to talk about. What's
Go ahead, Kevin.
Well, I don't know if it's an elephant because it doesn't mean there's going to be a bad ending. You know what I mean? The elephant usually means there's going to be a divorce or, you know, your buddy's about to kick the crap out of your other buddy. Like, that's usually the elephant. There's going to be a one way, this way. I want him here. I hope we all do. I think he's the best left tackle coming off.
We do. We all want him here.
That's kind of how I feel. You know what he is? He's the leader of the locker room. He's the big dog. He's the alpha.
And he's like a free agent signing.
And I
Okay,
believe
so
he's,
with Allen
I
gone-
believe he's become a folk hero in his role, getting Bruce Allen fired, which everyone has to look around and be like, he gave up a year pay. Yes, he pushed it back a year, but there's no telling. There's no guarantees in this league.
Trent Williams
So what he
may
did,
go down.
what he sacrificed.
To me, I'm going to tell you right now, especially if he comes back and plays for the Washington Redskins, Trent Williams is on the Sammy Ball tier of Washington Redskins' all-time greatness. First and foremost, he's one of the best players in the National Football League because he's one of the top left tackles at a premier position. Second of all, he's only been our guy, and he's been invested. No one's played more hurt, and no one's played at a higher level for the Washington Redskins in his time than Trent Williams. No one's been more respected by his peers than Trent Williams. Nobody
I have said this to Ken so many times.
in you
You
are
tried to trade him for 2 first-rounders 2 minutes ago.
no, not 2 minutes ago.
He's
Okay, well, let's just skip to the end. The one thing that I appreciate the most about what the Washington Redskins have done in the front office is if there is no path for Trent Williams to come back to Washington, it will be resolved in a professional, gentleman-like fashion. Trent Williams will go to another
That's
team,
a fact.
and the
That's
Washington
a-
Redskins will get something.
That's where I was trying to get to. There is
And
no
that's
bad
okay.
ending.
Yeah, but I want him back.
We're
and
not,
I
getting
think
we're not getting a 5th rounder for him.
if Trent
That's what I'm
Williams comes
saying.
back, Brendan
But
Sheriff
I
comes
want him.
back.
But I want him.
Sheriff and Williams are a package deal in this equation
Why is that?
because I think Sheriff was on the way out because Williams wasn't coming back.
Maybe. I mean, the captain of the O-line is one thing. The captain of the team is another. The head honcho as a player in the franchise has been his role for years. The most respected man in the locker room for his on and off the field situations is our guy.
Trent's
And
great.
that's why I want him back.
Yep.
Because I want this young QB to not just have the best physical left tackle in the game, but a guy who will be his uncle figure. I mean, I'm not sure what the age gap is, so older brother, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
A veteran in the game at left tackle for Dwayne Haskins,
I understand.
I can't imagine. But listen, if that's not in the cards, I get it. You know, it's not for everyone. Maybe it's not the case, but we will, like you said, have the ability with this new Kyle Smith situation, Ron Rivera, to make a great decision for the franchise if we have to part ways amicably. There will be nothing negative that happens.
It will happen the right way in a professional football way. But the Trent Williams folk hero story started here in this basement and on Hogshaven in Pixels. Trent Williams as the barnstorming, get rid of Bruce Allen, get rid of everything you have going on in this organization. I will not risk anything on this.
What were you going to say? Left? You're going to
Left
say
nut.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
left
knew that
nut,
was coming.
left, yeah, left.
He's a big left nut guy. He
And
doesn't
he
see
won't
any
do it.
necessary reason to keep it for some reason.
Trent is as much to credit for this turnabout by Dan Snyder. I know AGH said it. I've been saying it as well on down here in the on Hogshaven. I do think the league got to Dan Snyder. I believe that the league is partially responsible for what Dan Snyder is doing right now. We may never know if that's true.
Conspiracy theories?
Oh no! Like I think my spiel is that the owners
I know.
as a group came to Dan
You said it
Snyder.
last week, and I was with it.
We love that you
But
suffered.
now-
We love that you suffered.
Yeah.
But now you're hurting us, and it's over. So AGH, that's definitely happening. Guys, can Derrick Henry be stopped? Darren.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Too big, too fast, too strong.
Not a quarterback that can figure it out this time of year. What did we just talk about earlier? Man, you got to have a two-way go at this time of year. And that's just offensively.
No.
So you think Tennessee has a chance to go the distance?
Yeah.
Come on, man. You can't just give a pleasant answer. One word.
No, they do. They do.
So who's your Super
They
Bowl?
do because of what they've already done. Don't get me wrong. I'm not clowning them. You go into these two places and come out with 2 dubs.
I know.
You got something going on for you.
Who's your
They've thrown
Super
for
Bowl
88 and 76 yards. This is the time.
Who's you got?
This is the time.
Who's playing in the big game?
Listen,
Lightning
man,
round, like you just off the cuff.
I can't even possibly.
Darren,
I can't even possibly. Yeah. He's got his nose on the mic.
it's Tennessee, San Francisco. In the game nobody wanted. The game that nobody wanted.
Listen, everyone wanted Green Bay, San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a throwback to the to the old school. But I just can't see it.
I
man.
think San Francisco is going to throttle the Packers. By the way,
Really?
throttle, capital T.
I don't see that happening.
Okay.
I mean, it's this time of year.
I could
but
be dead wrong, obviously.
can't count the
no one's
Chiefs
throttling
out.
anybody, is what I'm saying. That has nothing to do with
the
your
Titans
statement.
just throttled somebody.
Who?
The Titans, the
It was
Tennessee
28
Titans.
to 12. It seemed like a throttle.
He ran for a
I know.
zillion yards.
I know.
He's
I
still
know.
running.
All right. Well, our guy had 500 yards. That
I
didn't
think it's
matter.
going to be San Fran and
KC?
KC.
If Andy Reid doesn't get this break, I'm going to be sick to my stomach. I love the guy. I hated him with the Eagles because he beat us, but he was the least hateable. All right, Dick Vermeil was not hateable either, but Philly seems to have some guys. Doug Peterson's not hateable. Their coaches aren't hateable.
Yeah.
I'll give them that. Andy Reid is a good man. They have such ferocious speed on the offensive side of the
The
ball.
AFC Championship
And
game is
listen,
gonna be
Honey
awesome.
Badger has
It's
made a
gonna be
big,
awesome.
huge difference. And I'm just going to say, you have got to be able to do it all in this game. And I don't know if KC can. I don't know if their defense and running game is strong enough. I get that in the playoff situation.
That offensive firepower is something
It's
else.
sick.
though.
It's sick. It's sick. The speed.
I
no
mean,
one's
you
ever seen
can't-
speed like this.
You can't go to the bathroom without missing out on 21 points, maybe. It was crazy what they
How long are you
just
taking
did.
there, man?
Hey,
We're talking here.
hey, you're it
You-
could
it's
be-
'cause all that-
you
your
can
cell
number
phone. Too
one.
many Sour Patch
Hey,
Kids.
this
Too
second
many
quarter,
Sour
you can
Patch
number
Kids.
one.
I'm
and
talking
miss
about your cell
14
phone.
points.
Your cell phone will tie you up in the bathroom for 45, 55 minutes. You are an addict. It's attached to your fingers.
I know.
Yeah. That's different.
Chiefs are believe the favorite to win right now, the Vegas favorite.
Man, we've all seen the Chiefs bow out with the passing game and no defense. And I know Honey Badger and they got some defensive backs that have gotten healthy.
Your boy, Fruit Cup.
Well, you got Breland
Jones.
and Fuller back there.
Fruit Basket Jones.
Fruit Basket Jones he didn't play last week.
I know.
Fruit Basket Jones might be one of the best free agents coming off the market. He wants to get out there and show his worth.
They made some big plays.
I
though.
would take him on
on
my
special
team.
teams.
We already
too.
got a guy,
It was the
but-
Keebler Elves.
The Keebler Elves.
So Chris Jones took a fall running the 40 back in the day, and we were doing it live here. And
Well, no, he was running the 40 in the NFL combine,
combine.
and his junk came right out of his shorts.
He fell. He fell.
Yeah, he fell. You're
And
right,
then
he fell.
something else fell. And the comment was that a bunch of Keebler elves scurried around because that was not safe for work.
No,
NS,
it was not.
FW is that I don't get those because I work at the bar, so it's always safe for there.
It's very
Yeah.
safe
but,
there.
But it wasn't.
No,
but
no.
it wasn't. But it wasn't.
And then he turns out to be literally one of the greatest interior defensive linemen
he's a badass
in the entire
Yeah.
NFL. Good for him.
And there was no EL fudges for like 4 months at Giant. So
Hey, Skins
Whatever.
NJ, a.k.a. Greg Martin, you're absolutely right. He goes, I think into hour 2 of halftime. We're still at halftime. We're still definitely at halftime. I just
Yes.
saw Herschel
Yeah.
Walker, spectacular down. Are they in Georgia right now? Is it the Georgia Dome?
no, it's New Orleans.
And New
Oh,
Orleans.
it's New Orleans. Herschel Walker. Come on.
What did y'all think about that Kansas City game, especially the second quarter?
I thought that
Travis Kelsey just flexed on everyone with
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes, who's just good Lord.
I mean, he has
what else? What
moxie.
else could you wish for?
Some of those plays, the throws didn't look like throws. They were kind of like flicks, tosses.
He's a gangster.
they
He's a
got breaks back, though, in the second quarter.
He's built like a Lamborghini, but you want to go backyard off-roading?
Right.
He will get the job done, old school style. A little Brett Favre in him. That
Yeah, I
was his
was
idol.
just getting ready to
it's
say
his
that.
idol.
It's-
It's his idol.
He has a lot of Favre in him.
Yes, he
You know?
does.
And it doesn't look natural. Well, it's natural, but it doesn't look. I'm forgetting the word, but one time he straddled the line of scrimmage and he
Yep.
just tossed it at the last second. Sidearm, across the body. He makes plays where you don't think plays are there, and you can't count a guy like that out.
Who would you
know?
take, him or Lamar to
Yeah,
start
well,
a
you
team?
just picked the Titans, so
No, I did not. He asked me, can you stop
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry.
And here's how you can stop them. You get up 21-0 with Patrick Mahomes in that offense. What are you going to do? Hand it off to Derrick Henry every time?
Mahomes
No.
for
At some point, you have to ask the quarterback to make a play. And the last 2 weeks, this dude's done for 88 and 76 yards. Listen, that can only take you so far. That's all I'm saying. I know he might have earned himself a pretty penny, but I'm not sure why. But we'll see.
We'll see. We will see. Jaron, you got to knock it off for us tonight?
Let me see.
You always got something you got to get off your
I
chest.
keep something, on my chest.
Can I just give a shout out to Shaquem and Shaquille? Shaquem's first sack in the NFL with his
so
brother.
awesome. That was so
It was
awesome.
one of those moments that happened over the weekend that welled me up a little bit. I mean, picture your first sack in the NFL, and Kevin and you shared it, like in the playoffs. Like, are you kidding me? At that point, like, it's over. Like, win, loss, doesn't matter. That just happened organically. They sacked the quarterback in a pressure situation as brothers. Sorry, I was just trying to fill time while you get over there thinking about what you got to get off your chest. Because I know what I got to get off my chest.
Come back to me. Let me think. There's a lot of
You know what you gotta get
BS
off your
that's been
chest?
going on.
I do.
What do you got?
Over the weekend, I heard the term kudos used.
Okay.
Kudos to so-and-so. Kudos to blah, blah, blah. Well, kudos to you. If someone says that dumb shit one more time, I'm going to puke. It's the dumbest sounding crap ever. Kudos
don't like
to
kudos?
you, Darren.
Where does that
Kudos.
the term
Well, I don't even
originate?
know. It's
Where
some
does the term
dumb-ass, horrible person. And he's influenced so many others. Kudos to you for, like, this. What do you mean kudos? This is not 1932. There's no kudos. What's kudos? You don't like it? I mean,
It's a transliteration of Greek singular noun, meaning praise or renown.
Right,
First used largely in
right. How about,
academic
like-
circles.
Nice. Dude. Like, well done, sir.
Gained wider currency in the 1920s and
How about just a
journalistic
high
use.
five? Well, I'd like to announce kudos to Bob over here for also dressing the same as I did today. I also wore the same outfit. Kudos to
It
you,
was
Bob.
given to
I hate
playwrights
it.
in the
I hate
20s.
kudos. I hate the term kudos, and I yelled at the TV this weekend at least 3 times. Kudos? So
You're not
that's,
getting
I
any.
don't know. It's petty.
We're
I'm not
saving all
saying
kudos.
I'm not saying I'm not petty, but well, kudos to the Redskins for hiring Ron Rivera. Like, I want to punch that guy right in the stomach.
There's people who are AGH has given you some kudos, but James Rainey is suggesting
He likes kudos?
no. He thinks it needs to go.
It's got to go.
It's got to go.
It's terrible. Stop
Yeah.
saying it.
Yeah.
Don't say kudos, man.
I
When we're
assume
doing
that's
basketball,
what James.
when we're doing
Sounds like a candy bar.
no, it was like a healthy
It
one.
does sound like a
no, like
candy
20
bar.
years
It
ago.
does.
Kudos was a healthy, supposedly healthy candy bar. It wasn't healthy,
But it had, like-
it just tasted like a crappy candy bar.
It had five of the 6 ingredients you would want, but they messed it up with the 6th ingredient.
Yeah, they were
It's like apricot or
kudos
something.
to us. No, shove it up your stuff.
I understand.
Kudos. That's it. That's all I got. I wrote down kudos. Look at that, Darren. Look at my notes. Kudos.
There it is.
That's it. That's all you
Question
got.
mark.
I was
Kudos
wondering
with
what that
question mark.
was.
Yeah, you should be. That's what I've been wondering. Exactly. Thank you for helping me here.
Hey,
You
I
guys
have a
something
knock it
funny to
off.
say?
go break it down.
It's on the basketball
You
side.
take
of
us out
things.
tonight. The second half's getting underway. We're gonna get out on your knock it off.
Knock it off to all the LA fans that jumped off of the Lakers and over to the Clipper side.
In like the last
Are you
three,
one
two or
of
three
them?
years. Am
Are
I
you one of them?
Me?
I'm just asking because you're shaking your head over there while I explain
Yeah.
why you need to knock it off if you jump off of LeBron and AD and
Kuzma.
Dwight and Kuzma and JaVale McGee
The big trade coming up, I hear.
and jump over to
Kudos.
Kudos.
the red floor in the Staples Center. They haven't earned anything yet. Patrick Beverly, he's a little bit of front runner. He's on the front runner side of things, if you ask me. He's a lot of bark. These Lakers are getting ready to do something real nice in the West, and the Clippers are going to have to wait their turn, if you ask me. And if you're so quick to jump over there to the Clipper side, knock it off and watch this greatness.
LA Lakers in the NBA Finals this year?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I think it's a good bet only because LeBron actually has a guy now, and he plays in the finals with regularity. If you bet against LeBron James making the NBA Finals, you're an idiot because
I-
he almost.
I'm
always
just
plays the
impressed
finals.
with no LeBron, no AD, and they still beat. I forget who they beat the other day, and Kuzma explodes. Had an incredible offensive game. They're deep, and they have a lot of weapons, and they have rim protectors. So
They have Anthony Davis, who was bundled
Yeah,
up on the
Tigers.
sidelines at Lambeau Field. He's a big Packers fan. Where's he from?
yeah, he's from Chicago.
Nice. Well, sorry Bears fans, but AD's is a Packer diehard.
Yeah.
He was up in the cold,
Yes, he was.
geared up, chilling sidelines. He's a cool dude, man.
So knock it off, fair weather, LA fans. How about that?
All right.
So we got LA fans, kudos.
You know, I'm in such a good place. I just feel like my knock it off to me is to all the people who are so hardened that they can't see that there's the foundation for something that could actually spring into something good. I think I have been part of the environment that created the very negative, we call it the Ghostbusters 2 slime, trail of slime that just infects everything.
Grab the proton packs off their backs and they split.
And they split.
Yes.
It's not about ego. The master ego tried to
battle my boys.
That's not
It's not
legal.
real.
It's not legal.
Oh, we.
I
Sorry,
think
but that happened.
That's
Darren.
Bobby Brown.
You didn't jump in, but you wanted
You
to.
wanted to.
You know it.
And you do know it, and and people who know it, and I think that there is something possible here, and I think Bobby Brown really has a way of bringing it home.
If it's
to all
up to
of
us, we've got to be in control.
And people need to cool it now,
Yeah.
immediately.
Oh, I like
True.
it.
Ooh, watch out.
And bring me that candy, girl.
Ooh, watch out.
Bring me that candy, girl.
Yeah.
Listen, you guys, enjoy the second half of this national title game. Root for your team. Enjoy yourself. Have a great Tuesday. On a Monday. He's Darren McClinton.
If it isn't love, why do we feel
What do
this
we
way?
feel this way?
On a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday, he's
Actually, Monday.
Kevin Ricka.
Listen, sunny days, everybody knows them, but can we stand the rain? I think we have for a long time. A couple of decades, and it's time for Ron Rivera, Kyle Smith, Doug Williams. Listen, it's a whole new era we're about to talk about.
Sunny day.
The thing about it is, and tell you right this very second, it is my prerogative to talk about some good Redskins stuff all
like
day
it.
long.
And we're going to do what we got to do and break their hearts
Break
because
their hearts. You know that we will. Until next Tuesday night, I'm Ken Marangolo. This was, thank God it's Tuesday. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with us. We appreciate you. Have a great week.
I hope that wasn't new edition copyright infringement, but we just pretty much got as much as we could there. It was a grab bag.